buddies.
Yeah, we've already cracked it, Toas, because we've been enjoying some beer from a local brewery. So before we talk about any of that, I want to welcome everybody to the Beard Owl Podcast, the podcast where we talk about two of the greatest things in the world, beer and Weird Al. And this podcast is about
we
beer.
only are talking about beer in this one. We're not talking about Weird Al.
But we're gonna make a connection.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're lucky enough that the local brewery to my house is a Hawaiian theme, and Weird Al is basically synonymous to Hawaiian shirts.
That's right.
So earlier today, we went down to the brewery, and we had a nice chat with the owner and head brewmaster of Lanahu Ales. And when we went down there, we both wore our Hawaiian shirts.
Yeah,
I
we
wore
did.
my classic shirt that I like to call Blue Hawaii because A, it is blue. B, it has Hawaii all over it, like the outline of the state and everything. And also, I like to call it Blue Hawaii because of the Elvis Presley song/movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have an Elvis Presley Blue Hawaii t-shirt.
Yeah, there you go.
Where he's in a little tiny bathing suit.
Yeah, he surfed a lot in that movie, didn't he?
He did surf a lot in that movie.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But I wore my Hawaiian shirt that I was wearing when I met Weird Al.
And cried.
So the shirt that I wore when we went to Lanahu Ales was the shirt that I wore when I met Weird Al. Weird Al touched that shirt. So Weird Al has still touched this episode.
Absolutely. Without further ado, why don't we talk about the beers that we have right now?
Oh, yeah. Crap. Yeah, we do have beers, don't we?
So today, as of this recording, was the release of these two beers that we currently have, and they are basically fresh off their canning line. They finally got their canning line up and running to an acceptable level to their standards, and these two beers are the first two that they're releasing off their can lines.
Huzzah!
I've got the Brudda Pia. I will check it in a minute. It is an IPA, and I chose that one for myself because I am the Brudda.
Oh, dang. Okay. And I've got the Kapu Pia because it's not the Brudda, but I'm not a Kapu. But, if I'm driving with more than two other people in my car, I guess it's a Kapu.
Kapu. Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, as you'll hear in this episode, the names are of the beers from Lanahu Ales are quite fun and not as deep as you think they are, but super duper fun. So we like that. But what is it? Pia? Pia is what means
Pia. Yes, Pia is beer in Hawaiian.
Oh, so there you go.
So a lot of them
have Pia
in them. It. I think one of my favorite names is Pia Samoa. We used that joke a couple times while we were still there after we finished recording. It's like, oh man, I gotta go Pia Samoa.
Yeah.
Pee some more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but one that we didn't mention in the episode, they have the Pocono.
Oh, Pocono.
And we live in the Poconos.
Well, you do.
Well, yes, I live in the Poconos. Mm-hmm. Pocono Mountains.
Yeah.
So, Pocono. That's
Pocono.
I thought that was pretty clever.
It sounds Hawaiian, but it's not. It's beautiful. It's great. And, because our podcast is what it is, I have to make another thing. Like, the funny little jokes in the names of the beers is such a Weird Al thing to do.
Yeah. It really is.
It's that same type of humor. And I think that's one of my favorite things about craft beer in general. In this episode, you're going to hear a lot about the science that goes into craft brewing, which I think is super duper cool. But you also get a lot of the personality that goes into craft brewing, which is also super duper cool. And I think it's the science and the creativity and the personality that really makes this industry blah 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 blue people. But it's what makes this industry something super duper special.
Yeah.
I've been drinking a lot of Lanahu Ales beer today. I think that's all after since we got there, that's what I've had today.
Yeah.
We do need to put a little disclaimer on this episode.
Yeah, so since we are at a brewery, yes, we were recording in the tap room, but their tap room is adjacent open air to their brewing room. So there will be some buzzing and maybe some bubbling noises.
Yeah.
That you might not typically get in an episode of the Beard Owl podcast. Right, so yeah, there's going to be some noises. So please bear with the slight audio quality degradation that may be there.
Yeah,
we're not filming. We're not recording in our typical locations.
No.
So please bear with any kind of audio faux pas.
But I think the information there transcends anything that, the audio may.
Oh, absolutely. I think we both learned a lot today about the brewing process and, different ways to think about beers. I think we'll get to it in the episode, but you thought of a different way to think about IPAs.
I did.
Yeah.
My mind was blown. Without further ado, we'll just...
I just want to give another thank you to George.
George, yes, you rock.
For letting us in early before opening and for sitting down and having a chat with us. So without further ado, here is our conversation with George.
Yay!
So this is a pretty special episode. This is really our first episode where we're featuring mostly just beer. Yeah, we're not really going to be talking about Weird Al today. So if you're here for that, this might not be the episode for you. We're at the brewery that's about a quarter mile from my house. I've talked about it a couple times. Lanahu Ales. Did I pronounce that right? I pronounced that right. So we have the owner of the brewery, George.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, John.
Thanks for having us in. So
tell
us a little bit about yourself.
My name is George Moranich. I recently retired. I was with the local power plant, nuclear power plant in Berwick for 30-some years.
I know that power plant.
Yeah.
We always thought it was a cloud factory when we were kids.
Yeah, I still call it a cloud factory.
That's pretty much what it is. And I was just looking for something to do during retirement, and I just didn't know what that would be. I'm not capable of just sitting around and doing nothing. So my wife and I, a few years ago, we started brewing in our basement, actually converted our basement over to a small brewery, and thought, man, maybe this is it. So a lot of trials and tribulations later, we have a brewery in Mountaintop.
That's awesome. That's exactly what we need in the area too, because you're not another pizza place and you're not another bank, as everybody keeps saying around here.
That's right.
It's all we have up here is pizza places and banks.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I saw this opening up. I'm like, yes, it's going to be awesome. And so far, everything I've had has been pretty baller.
Than's you.
Yeah.
Oh, baller's the word, huh? I just came here for the first time. I rolled into town from Jacksonville Friday, and I came here Saturday with actually my best friend who's sitting behind me, who's just observing us recording this. We came here for the first time together Saturday, and we're super impressed with everything. And I think the thing that struck me the most interesting, other than the fact that the beer was so good, was how unique the tap system is. And I need to make sure we talk about this.
Yeah.
Because
Okay, excellent.
It's so different from anything I've ever experienced. So number one, I'll let you explain how the tap system works. And number two, why did you decide to do it that way?
Okay, well, when we were planning this, I watched a lot of people pour beer, and I watched a lot of beer go down the drain. You'd be surprised. On a typical half or a typical keg, 20 to 30% is wasted with foam.
Yep.
So, and it gets worse when you see people trying to fill growlers, which at this time we're really not filling unless people are willing to take the foam part. And it gets dicey. So, there was a lot of things I was looking at, tried ways to make sure that our staff was staying honest with it, so I wouldn't, have to live here and pour beer for people. There were a couple of competing methods out there, and the one I chose was pour my beer. The CEO of the company does have local roots. His wife was from Kingston.
Oh.
They met in school. I believe it was East Stroudsburg. And I contacted him a few years ago, and when I saw this, and I'm like, man, you got to send me more information on it. So I drove out to State College, where my brother lived, and at a place called McClanahan's in State College, and I believe the bar is A's. They have the pour my beer system there, and I'm like, damn, I gotta have this. The nice thing about it, you pour as much or as little as you want. When you're ready for a beer, you go get the beer. There's no more trying to hail over a server or a bartender. You waltz up to the beer wall and have at it.
It really is incredible because even you've probably seen this, John. We go to beer places and breweries all the time, and people dump a lot of beer down the drain.
Yes, they do.
And at least this way, if beer gets dumped down the drain, people are paying for that beer that gets dumped down the drain.
Yeah, they're paying for that beer.
Yeah, the typical waste for us right now, when we do, tap a new keg, there's a little bit of runoff just to get the lines going again, and during cleaning, because everything has to be drained. Our typical waste roughly is somewhere around 5% from the 20 to 30%, depending upon how bad the person is pouring the beer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, this is the only place I've personally been to that's had this system. And my first time here, I just thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Right now, at least for the pour my beer system, the closest one is in Reading. It's the beer wall on Penn.
Okay.
Then there's a same company. They just opened a place down in the Lancaster area, which made my son-in-law quite happy because he lives in Lidditz, so that works out well for him. Then you have the State College place. There might be a few in Philadelphia, some out in Pittsburgh, but right now it's just not here yet. And as far as breweries go, at least a week ago, I was still the only brewery in Pennsylvania with the pour my beer system.
That's a cool distinction. I would wear that with a badge of honor.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the first brewery in Pennsylvania to have this system. That's really cool.
That definitely is neat. That's so neat. So another thing that definitely struck me as interesting about this place when John told me about it was the Hawaiian theme. John said that there's a Hawaiian-themed brewery that's popping up around the corner from my house here in Mountaintop, Pennsylvania. And
you almost couldn't get farther from Hawaii.
No, we're about 5,000 miles away from
you're
it.
super far from Hawaii. So I gotta ask, I live in Florida, so I feel like, Florida's just as far from Hawaii as Pennsylvania is.
Oh,
but
yeah, absolutely.
It's beachy. We've got our tropical vibes to it. So I understand people doing Hawaii things in Florida more than I'm understanding it in Pennsylvania. So why? Why the Hawaii?
My wife graduated from nursing school up at LCC back in 1992. So in 1993, I was looking for something to do special for her because, she was young. She really, put everything into it, and we had 2 kids at the time. So it wasn't easy for her. So I was looking for that special thing for her. So I thought about a cruise. I thought about, the trip to Hawaii. My sister-in-law was our travel agent, and she was keeping it all hush-hush. But one of my friends, you've seen him on TV a lot. He's the one that runs Rome Kitchens and stuff like that. Rich is a good friend of mine. He says, George, listen, I've been on a cruise, and I've been to Hawaii. Take your wife to Hawaii.
There you go. So
we went out there. 9 nights, 3 different islands, had an okay time. We really didn't know what we were doing out there. And by the time we figured out something to do for that day, the day was almost over, and we're kicking ourselves in the head that we just lost another one. So that vacation ended. We came back. That that was pretty much off our bucket list and everything's over, we asked our kids, who are now old enough to go on a family vacation, hey, where do you guys want to go? Expecting Disney.
No.
They picked Maui.
Wow.
Wow.
Yep,
Wow.
at 7 and 9 years old.
Well,
So-
you guys must have really talked it up.
I don't quite get how that whole thing happened, and that's so long ago I can barely remember it.
Right.
So we took them in 1995. We went out for our first family vacation in Maui, and we had an absolutely fantastic time. And that's where they wanted to go all the time for vacation, and that's all we went on vacation. And then when they graduated from high school, they went off and they started their own lives. And Amy and I just kept going back and going back and going back, where now we feel that it's also our second home.
Wow.
So we were trying to figure out a way to tie our love for the islands in with a place that we grew up in. And we're both from, I'm from Freeland. She's from a little town called Drifton, right out of it. So we grew up with coal for all our lives. My
Yeah.
grandfather was a coal miner, died of, black lung. And I just start looking up Hawaiian terms with a dictionary, and coal in Hawaiian is Lanahu. It just sounded good.
Yeah, it really does.
It really fits. I think it's really cool that you tied that in. Just tied Hawaii into this coal region area, and it's a really cool connection.
And we're trying to get people.
Who really thinks about that?
We're trying to get people to relax too.
Right.
Even when our first couple of times out there, you're all stressed out. You think everything out there has to move with the time of the mainland, but out there they have a thing called Hawaiian time. You just relax. Nothing happens fast out there. You have to start training yourself to just kick back, and that's kind of what we were looking for here. Come in, relax with the music, and enjoy a couple of beers, maybe some food, and with any luck, the experience will keep you coming back.
Yeah.
I heard you say maybe some food. With the timing of your opening, it was more of a requisite that you have to enjoy some
Yeah,
food. So tell
that
us
kind-
about some of the issues and toughness that you had with the timing of your opening.
Well, when we provided our business plan, there was no COVID. We've been drinking craft beer for many years now. We researched the living bejeebers out of this whole thing. We would go to a place, jot down what we thought was really neat about it, and we've gone to, oh my God, hundreds of small microbreweries, some bigger ones, Maui Brewing Company being one of those, which is awesome. And we just tried to figure out what we would do here without having to worry about tying food into it. So, but everybody wants to eat something. We figured it'd be some snacks, which, now we have that. I also like the whole food truck concept.
Mm-hmm.
There's food trucks everywhere out in Hawaii.
Right.
And it seems to fit. Just so happens that when we ended up opening, we had to have food here, which was trying.
That
Yeah.
must have been a nightmare
No.
to just scrounge that up in so quick without really having that in your original plan.
Yeah.
So-
Well,
when did you open again?
We opened
Remember?
was Veterans Day of 2020.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So it was right smack dab in the middle of it. Cases were still kind of dropping a couple of weeks before that, and then they rock and rolled, and then we got shut down right after Thanksgiving, and then we get snowstorm after snowstorm after we did get open up. So you name something that could have, impeded an opening. We hit every check mark.
Just
there.
about. Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, well, snowstorm's not something you have to worry about in Hawaii.
Not in Hawaii. No.
Not in Hawaii.
Except on Mauna Kea.
Okay.
They actually get blizzards up there.
Huh.
It's a little over 14,000 feet in elevation. I went out there once in February by myself. We were actually looking at a home out there. So we had a bunch of showings set up for the President's Day holiday in February. So I flew out on a Friday. I looked at property Saturday and then flew back Sunday. I would never recommend that to anybody.
Oh my gosh. How many time zones is that?
Yeah, it's a lot of time zones.
In winter, it's 5.
Oh my gosh.
Summer, it's 6.
Still a lot of time zones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I left Big Island at 5 o'clock in the evening on Sunday, and I got back up in Wilkes-Barre at 6 o'clock the next evening. So on the clock, a little over 24 hours.
Wow.
That's a trip and a half.
Well, while I was out there, it was 80 degrees or 85 degrees down by the ocean. You could look up at Mauna Kea with the telescopes and everything, and it was snow-capped. It was awesome.
I bet that is
Awesome.
cool because people don't. I mean, clearly altitude, you're going to have snow, but we don't
Right.
think about it.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, so it only makes sense, but yeah, nobody associates Hawaii with snow.
No, and it's
why would you,
it is
unless you really
something to
thought about it
see.
that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me just enter one quick story. So there
Yeah.
are telescopes
Tell as
up
many
there.
stories as you want.
So one of the things that Amy and I wanted to do is go up to Mauna Kea to see the telescopes, and then that was all the way up at the top, and then they dropped you down at about the 10,000 foot elevation where the ranger station is, and then they brought out these telescopes for the people to look at things. So we thought, let's just do this tour. So we started heading up the mountain. It was through it was a van that picked everybody up. It was, upper 80s when we left. We get to the ranger station at 10,000 feet, and it's somewhere around 40 degrees. We get up to the top of the mountain. When we were down there, they were handing out parkers. And I'm like, I'm from Northeast PA. I don't need no parka.
That's how I am in Florida. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I'm sorry.
We get up to the top of the mountain. It was in the teens. Winds were howling like you wouldn't believe. I was outside that van. Okay, seen enough. I'm no longer a man here, and I was right back in there. The hell with this. It was freezing up there,
That's crazy.
and that was August.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
That's so great. I mean, I love that there's new, unique places popping up in Northeast Pennsylvania because, I grew up here. I don't live here anymore, but I grew up here, and I always think, gosh, I'm not sad I left.
Right.
you
What
know?
is there to do?
What is there to
And
do?
this brought something new to do.
This brought something new to do, but we would be remiss if we didn't talk about, you talked about, you started doing home brewing, but I've loved every beer that I've had. I just want to know your thoughts on beer, because I see you've got a lot of IPAs.
Yes. That was the other reason why I started brewing. I always felt, we used to have a vegetable garden in our backyard to grow tomatoes. When I was a kid, my dad had a garden out back. My wife's cousin, when I would go to visit him, he had his dad and him had this huge vegetable garden. So I grew up doing it. So I figured we're going to put our house in and we're going to start growing vegetables. Growing vegetables in your backyard is a pain in the ass. It's so much easier just to go up to Wegmans or any other grocery store and pick those stupid tomatoes out of the bins, throw them in a cart, and walk away with it. Between bugs, other weird funguses, deer coming and mowing all your plants down, it got old. So we planted grass, and that's kind of the way I felt about beer. Why do it when you could just walk to a distributor and get it done? Until I was introduced by my son-in-law to IPAs.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, okay, I think I really like these. And one of my first ones was Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. I just liked that little bit of bitter to it. But then we did a trip up to Burlington, Vermont during, oh my God, when the hell was it now? Valentine's Day weekend. We get up there and it was, 18 degrees below zero.
Oh my God. Nope.
Just for some heady topper.
Oh my God. Yes, that's so good.
And we had to try it, so we went up there, we did it, and you know what? I fell in love.
Uh-huh.
But you come back home, and there is nothing like that here. Nothing.
Right.
Breaker, they start doing it, so Amy and I, we pretty much hung out up at Breaker all the time. And I thought, then I start drinking more and more, looking for that special beer, and I'm kind of embarrassed now on my Untappd ratings. Thank God people can't see them because I kept my account private. But I was told, well, if you can do so much better, why don't you just start brewing yourself? That's where we start doing it in our basement, and we, except for our first beer, which we pretty much poured all over the floor because I forgot to shut a valve off on transfer, we kept them all. And they were just, I just felt good about doing it. So watching water chemistry, knowing what your water is going before you even start, and then figure out what you need to add to make it perfect for that type of beer style, that meant a lot to me. And then for the hazy IPAs, which we specialize in, we also watch, a lot of people talk about malt backbone. So to try to cover up the hop additions to appease more people, they'll just dump tons of like a crystal or caramel malt in there.
Yeah.
And I couldn't drink them anymore. So we pay attention to that too. I've learned everything just by trial and error, and right now I can kind of feel how a beer is going to turn out before we even brew it. The nice thing about Mountaintop, the water here, we had 4 items in my selection process that I looked at. Water, electricity, 3-phase, sewer, and natural gas. Water is probably the biggest one. All the water in Mountaintop comes from Crystal Lake, which is just a few miles away from here, the way a crow flies. And if you look at, I did have the water tested here when we were siting it, it's actually better than the reverse osmosis system I had at my house.
Really?
It's zeros.
Wow.
There's
Wow.
like the mineral content in that is just about nothing.
Yeah, because I mean, I know I've got a reverse osmosis for my fish tank, right? And yeah, so I know what that's all about. But oh my gosh,
Yeah, it's
so
perfect.
it's even
The
better.
The water's perfect here. We have 3-phase electricity here. We did have, we have the natural gas, but the service that was coming in here didn't have enough BTUs to supply everything that we did have. So if you look out front, you could still see the trench that they had to dig to run a new line in from the street to get our service up, and then of course sewer.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so it's a great, perfect location for what you were looking for then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
the water couldn't be better.
We had a place picked in Makanakwa, a lot cheaper. Let's see, 7 times cheaper.
Wow.
For the
That's
property.
Mountaintop for you.
Wow. Well, yeah.
The building was smaller, it was half the size of this, but the price was right. The water was great, same company, except the reservoir was from, I think, the Huntsville Dam,
Okay,
which
yeah.
is still very similar to Crystal Lake. The only thing that they did not have was natural gas, but I would have rolled just with propane. But that deal fell through, mainly because of the seller. And then we looked and looked and looked and tried not to spend this kind of money on this place, but we ended up here anyway. It's tough. There's really, to meet those 4 criteria and staying in Mountaintop, there isn't anything.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, you have to kind of. Gosh, see, now you've got me wondering because I live in Jacksonville, Florida, right? And there's breweries popping up there, left and right. You know, all over. When I moved down there were 8, and now there's at least 20 in that I could hit all of them in one day. You know,
Nice.
And, yeah, we did 8 in one day once.
Yes, we did.
That was a day.
The Jacksonville Ale Trail, that
Yeah,
was fun.
That was a day.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it was quite the day. But I digress. And now you've got me thinking, you know, 'cause the water in Jacksonville is not great. If you go to Florida, I would say don't eat the pizza because the water and where you are with sea level, it's terrible. They
Yeah.
can't do the dough. So now I'm wondering, you know, how good is the water at a lot of these breweries that I go to and enjoy? Because they clearly have to be doing like the reverse osmosis
Some sort of
thing.
treatment.
You
to
would
it.
Yeah.
have to. A lot of brewers don't even look at it. When we went to, and which kind of shocked me, when Maui Brewing Company, they started off real tiny. The owner of that company, I can't think of his name right now, graduated from college, went on a trip, came back to Maui, and took notice there's no brewery, so he quit it. I believe he was in finance, got out of that, and started a small micro on the North Shore, or near Lahaina, Maui. And it took off. They just got done building a $17 million brewery down in the southern part of Maui called Kihei, and we went to see that place. It's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. If I was able to, I'd pitch a tent in it and just live there. You have views of the West Maui Mountains. It's just absolutely drop dead gorgeous. So we had a tour of the place while we were still thinking about doing this, and I asked the one dude giving the tour, who was an assistant brewer, I said, what do you guys do as far as your water goes? He goes, well, we just have the street water. It comes in, municipal water, comes in, and we filter it. Well, what about minerals in that? We take what God gives us. And
Wow.
I'm like, okay, but that's the wrong answer.
Wow.
I don't know if they've done anything, but believe me, there are a lot of brewers that do not look at water chemistry.
I'm sure. It really affects the flavor of the beer too. If you're starting with not pure water, you're gonna
You
get.
could get.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about the IPAs then. There's a ratio that you're supposed to look at. It's called the sulfite to chloride ratio.
Okay.
If we would have tried brewing our beer at our house without touching our water, that ratio would have been so high, which those hops that we would have added would have made them so strong and in your face that you'd hardly be able to drink it. With the New England style IPAs, typically for that style, you can look in Europe where they started, and that ratio could be high. Typically, the stuff that I used to do when I was just looking at IPAs and not the hazies, that was a ratio of 4. So if you have like an IBU of, let's just say 60. So you got a 60, you got a nice little point on it, you get it, you know you're drinking an IPA. The way we do ours for the hazies is we take that number to 0.5. So you're getting that same amount of IBUs, but it's a nice smooth curve. So you're not getting railed with it, and it just feels creamier on the tongue.
Yeah. I see that. I like what you did. The listeners of this can't see what he did
Right.
making the shape, but really,
Right.
like, there's a
You're
point
stretching
and a
the
curve.
parabola.
You're
Yes.
stretching the parabola, and that's so interesting because seeing you do that visual with that shape, that made so much sense
Yeah.
in my brain. Like, yes, there's
Yeah.
a difference between an IPA that's sharp like this and an IPA that's curved like this,
Yeah.
even though they're, that's,
And I can't drink bitter bombs anymore either.
No.
If it's not like this, I'm not going to drink it.
that's so neat. So,
I think this is a good opportunity. Why don't we talk about the beers that we all have?
yeah, John's here with a flight right
Yeah,
now.
I have a flight of 4 here. I have the number 2, 4, 5, and 10. The 2, 4, and 5 are all IPAs. The 10 is the sour. So I guess since I could talk about the sour, since that's the only unique one on
Well,
my
they're all
palate.
unique.
They're all unique, but the only one that's not an IPA. It's brewed with what?
Lily Koi.
Passion fruit,
Well,
is that?
Lily Koi is passion fruit in Hawaii.
Okay, yes.
Oh, I love that.
See, that's really cool. What was this is the second iteration of the sour that you guys did. The first one was guava?
Guava.
Guava.
It was
Okay.
either guava or mango. I'm forgetting now. It was
Right.
one of the two.
Yeah, this one turned out a little bit more sour, which kind of made it, I think, a better sour than the...
And that's the Lily Koi.
yeah.
Well,
I-
that's a naturally more sour fruit.
Yes.
Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Right, so I think my wife is the one in my family that likes the sours, and I brought her home a crowler of this the other day, and she's like, oh my god, I really like that. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep getting that until they don't make that one anymore. So
Well, one of the things I did learn is I didn't realize how popular the sour thing was. It took me a while to get over. With the sour, you're deliberately contaminating a beer to make it sour. We do a lot of stuff behind me is where our brew house is.
Yeah.
We do a lot of stuff there just to keep the equipment clean and sanitary and free from bad bacteria, stuff that we can't control. With the sour, you're taking bacteria, adding it to the wort, and purposely taking those sugars that the yeast would normally take and make alcohol and carbon dioxide, and you're making lactic acid with it to give it the sour. And then the key is to kill it off. It's I was not prepared for the aroma on my first sour. I never brewed a sour before. When I came in here the next day after brewing our first sour, you can smell something a little bit different. It wasn't until I lifted the kettle hatch off where, let's just say that I'm glad I was not hungover when I did.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Really?
It's just, it's unbelievable. So then you have to get the boil going back up again, make sure you kill all of that. And then once the hops were added, everything was back to normal again. The place smelled great again. It's just getting through that one thing.
Yeah.
And then that sour went like mad.
Yeah, sours were the last style of beer that I developed a palate for. I made a point. Now, I don't know if I should be proud or ashamed of myself for this point, but I made a point to be able to appreciate every style of beer for what it is. I didn't want to be like, oh, I don't like sours, so I'm not going to drink them. I wanted to say, okay, I know what a good sour should taste like, so I want to appreciate a good sour for what it is, or a good porter for what it is, what have you, right?
You're actually a lot better than me. I'm not good at that. I'm good at the IPAs. The other ones I let other people, I'll brew them. They'll pass my taste test first, but then I will get other people to make sure that what I've done is correct. Because just like when I would go out and review other people, I would never review a style that I would never drink.
Yeah. Yeah, and so that's what I wanted to happen. So I wanted to be able to go to any brewery and say, they do this well, they do that well, and this, that, and the other. And you do IPAs very well. They are my favorite style of beer. I like all of them, but they're IPAs are my favorite style. But where was I going with this? I had a point.
I don't know.
And
I'm not in your brain.
You're not in my brain. That's okay. You're in my brain most of the time.
Well, not right now.
Not right now. Okay, that's fine. So, okay, yes, I know exactly where I was. Sours were the last style that I developed a palate for, but they're really great in warm weather, and that's when I made myself get into sours.
Okay, yeah.
Summertime, Florida, it's 95 degrees outside in the middle of the day. Like in the afternoon, I don't want an IPA when it's that hot and muggy and just on you. Okay.
Right. A sour in that moment can be almost refreshing.
Right.
Like, I think one good sour that I would call refreshing every time I have it is the Dogfish Head Sea Quench.
Oh, the Sea Quench.
Yeah, that's a sour that's key lime and sea salt, and that's a good sour. That,
it is a good sour
on a hot day in the pool. Yeah, this rivals it.
Thank you
for that purpose. This is refreshing. It's the first one I'm finishing.
Can I taste it?
Yes.
I could just put my card into the
You
tap
could just
system
go
and get
under.
myself my
you
own.
could, but you know what?
Couldn't I?
It's fine. It's here.
Oh, you're right though, because it's sour.
It's sour in the right way.
In the right way.
Yeah. And it's sweet in the right way. It really hits that.
Yeah, because I've had some
it's
sours
quenching.
that they make you.
Oh yeah,
you get
phlegmy.
like phlegmy,
Yeah.
and you get tense like right here. You
Not
don't want
with this.
that.
And that's when they take the pH too low.
Mm-hmm.
We stop our pH. Now this one did drive the pH down a little bit lower once we added the lilikoi to it, but we stop our pH. And what when I say stop the pH, you're heating up your kettle again. We do kettle sours. We heat up the kettle again to kill everything off when the pH gets down to 3.3. Some people will take it under 3. But for everything with the pH scale, it increases intensity by 10. So you really, the lower you go, it doesn't sound like 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 is a lot, but it's a lot.
It's logarithmic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we tried the first one, and what I did is I just kept on. I would taste it a little bit to make sure that I was okay. That number was 3.3, and that's what we do now. Like I said, the Lilikoi did drop that a little bit just because it was Lilikoi.
Right.
Yeah, that's so you got a whole flight here.
Yeah, but you go.
I went with the number one. I can't say it's the
delicious.
Delicious.
That kind of. I was not expecting the ABV to be as high as it did.
I'm not complaining.
The yeast actually did their job way better than was anticipated. I was kind of shooting. That was I think that came in at like 9.8%.
9.8, yeah.
And I was kind of shooting for right around 9 for that one.
Okay.
So it kind of slid a little north on me. I'm still not sure how that happened, but that's mango, and then we rested it on. I'm sorry, it was mosaic hops rested on mango puree.
Oh, I'm getting.
So that's the
Mosaic and mango.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, it's so nice. It really is. I had this yesterday too, and I
it's
said
sneaky.
Yeah, that was going to be my descriptor of it too. That's the one word I always think of with it.
It's sneaky. And full disclosure, I love sneaky beers. I like beers that are strong but don't taste boozy, and this is strong but doesn't taste boozy. You know, because there's a lot of IPAs. Once they get north of 9, you taste more booze than the flavor. And you definitely don't.
A lot of that is results of either yeast going in there at a pitch rate that's not correct for it. Maybe it's under pitched or maybe it's over pitched. So you'll get fusel alcohols created. They will give you that smell. I don't know if people will add brewer's sugar to the once it's in the kettle. Just to increase the specific gravity enough so they can get that boost without dumping a ton of grain in the mash tun. That will also cause that.
Yeah. Well, this I liked very much. And you know what? I'm going to let you two talk because I'm going to go get the one beer here that I haven't tried yet.
Go for it.
Thank you.
Now, going back to this Onolicious, when we talked previously, I think that's the first beer you said that you tried using, was it liquid yeast?
Dry yeast.
Oh, that was the first one with the dry yeast. You had previously used liquid yeast.
That was the first beer we've ever tried with dry yeast.
Okay.
All my beers that I've ever brewed at my house, I used liquid yeast. I was comfortable with it, but trying to run this by yourself, it's difficult, and liquid yeast is extremely expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the one that we use...
For small batch stuff, it's probably just fine,
it's
but
not
when you're
bad.
getting to large batch, it's...
So in order to make it economical, you do yeast starters, which you take dry malt extract. You pretty much make a beer just to make more yeast.
Right.
And I was doing that. It's a lot of work. And then the other thing you don't know, you have to be right on the money when your brew day is going to be. Because you have to pre-order the yeast. And in the yeast, liquid has a half-life to it. So the longer it sits, the more and more yeast become dead. And then you have to start increasing. So it just got to be tough. And especially when we started brewing, sometimes I'd have everything ready to go for the yeast, and the yeast wouldn't show up.
Wow.
So that was a problem.
Yeah, that could really screw up your timing.
Right?
Yeah. All right, so the next tier I'm going to talk about is the number 2. That's the Pia Samoa.
Okay.
So what can you tell me about the Pia Samoa? What hop is that?
Honestly, all these things are blurring in.
They're
so
blurring.
I'd have to do
so much
what
now.
you guys do
Right.
is go up there
Look it up.
and hit that
Look it up.
screen
Yeah.
and look it up.
All right, I'll look it up real quick. I'm sure it's on the Untapped.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
I actually went and I ended up getting it because I tried all the IPAs and all this other stuff. I got
I mean,
the
right
Lanahu,
now-
I got the lager.
Right now we're like 35 different beers that we brewed. Some of them didn't make it, but I really can't keep track of stuff. Now I know the one it's coming out today, that we're releasing cans today, and that's Brutta Pia. That is all Galaxy hops.
All Galaxy. Well, we
All
may have to
Galaxy.
hang out until opening and get some cans.
Yeah, I think so. that might be on the to-do here.
And
Yeah,
that
so
is
you said-
completely different brewing process, everything. We really changed it up with that, a different yeast, a different malt bill, and then it's the only beer that we brewed so far that in the kettle and through dry hopping, we kept the same yeast. I'm sorry, the same
hop?
The same hop.
Okay.
hop, wow.
Yeah, because we talk a lot on our show. One of my favorite styles of beer. I like double dry hopped IPAs. Right. I call them
Yep.
my DDH dippas. My
DDH.
double high. My double
DDH Deepa.
DBA. Yeah. So I understand at a very surface level what dry hopping means.
You know what? Single, double, triple.
What
It's-
is-
It's all about marketing.
Is that
When
true?
it sounds like, man, that was triple dry hop, it like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So you go through the dry hopping process 3 times. Do you necessarily add more hops to it? No. The wort will only absorb so many of those oils, and it gets to the point where there's one brewery I know that when they're all said and done, their dry hopping rate is 6 pounds of hops per barrel of beer.
Wow.
There are studies out there that shows that they're pretty much throwing almost 4 pounds of that down the drain. Plus, the hop pellets absorb beer, so the beer goes down the
Right.
drain. So it's a tremendous waste. You're adding all this because it sounds good, but it doesn't necessarily translate into getting more aroma and that to your beer. We have a set ratio that I go with, and it seemed to work good. We start doing that at my house. So what we'll do is I have my ratio. When I'm ultimately done, it's this amount of pounds per barrel of beer. And for double dry hopping, I'll just cut that number in 2, do 1 dry hop episode, then do the second one, and then leave it sit, and then send it on over to the bright tank to be carbonated and into the kegs. Triple, you just take that number, divide it by 3, and do it 3 times.
3 episodes,
It
yeah.
doesn't necessarily mean you're adding any more. It just sounds good.
Right. Okay. Well, that's interesting. That's really interesting. So
it's like
see,
never meet your heroes. Does
right,
that-
right. It's never meet your heroes. Right. Right. Exactly. Yeah. But this is really
Yeah.
incredibly interesting. And what I'm learning and what I'm understanding is I've loved beer for such a long time, but I've never really had a conversation like this
understanding, yeah.
with somebody who does it. Right.
Yeah.
It's
Now, one
just as much.
caveat, it's better to do double than single because you'll get those first set of oils and all that to come out and diffuse into it. Then when you add the second one, you'll get that second infusion in there instead of trying to do it all at once. So I don't know, and it's better marketing too when you say
Yeah, well,
double.
I mean,
But
especially
everything we do
Look
is
at this
double.
quadruple dry hopped
Yeah,
double
you can do that
IPA
too.
with. But this is just as much art as it is science, and that's so interesting. I've always appreciated the art of it, because there's creative names, creative can art, creative marketing. Clearly,
Right.
I've been swayed by the creative
Yes,
marketing.
yes, you have.
But I'm really, really nerding out over the science of the beer. Listening to you talk
That's
about
what
this
got
today.
me
This
involved in it.
is so fascinating, and
You
again,
clearly really understand the science of all of it.
Well, when you make mistakes, you learn what
Yes.
the heck happened, and
least
then
you better.
then you find out.
Yeah.
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 So the people listening can't see this, but like we're literally sitting
Yeah.
in the brewery right now, and
Right.
so there's the
How many tanks do you have back there?
Okay, so starting all the way over on the right, the first one is the mash tun. That's where we take the crushed grain. The all grain, well, most of it, unless it's really dark, has enzymes on it, alpha and beta amylase. They are the little buggers that will take all that starch and convert it into either fermentable or unfermentable sugars. So that mash tun will be filled with water. you'll dump the grains in there, and depending upon the temperature of the water will determine either how much body you have or how much alcohol. At higher temperatures, alpha amylase is the predominant enzyme, but that creates a lot of complex sugars which the yeast have troubles digesting, so you'll get a lot more body because there's more sugars in there that aren't going to go away, but less alcohol. Beta amylase is the enzyme that will take those starches, convert them to fermentable sugars. They operate at a lower temperature. So the thing is to try to find that balance, and depending upon the beer style, where you'll get the perfect amount of alcohol with a nice body to it. So like with the IPAs, we're sitting there, we're still trying to get more body to them by increasing that temperature, making less alcohol, but a more enjoyable experience when you're drinking it.
Oh.
Once it gets done in the mash tun, we'll run a process called Vorloft, which will circulate water from the bottom of the tank back up to the top, spray over the grain, and I equate it to setting your sand filter up for your swimming pool.
Okay.
So you'll run that until you see your wort, which the liquid is called right now, get clear. Once that happens, you'll send that clear wort on over to the boil kettle, which is the next tank, and you're going to sterilize your wort. Kill all the bad stuff in there. You're going to get rid of some water volume, and there's other things too that you're doing there, but you're going to run that for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours to get that process complete. Once that's done, you got to cool it down. You also add your hops at some point during the boil. That'll get you your bitters. It's the only time at temperatures over 170 degrees you will extract alpha acids from the hops. And the longer that temperature and the hops are there, so like 20 minutes you'll get so many IBUs. 25 you'll get more, 30 more. So the longer you're at 170 or above with a certain amount of hops, you'll make it more and more bitter. Once it goes below 170, you're just extracting oils in that and some aroma, and the alpha acids are no longer being extracted. So now you want to cool this bad boy down and get it ready to go over to the fermenters. We have 4 fermenters, and we have 1 bright tank. In the fermenters, that's about a 2-week process. That's where we take that beer. If it's an ale, we're usually fermenting at about 68 degrees. And from start to finish, you're looking at about 2 weeks to get an IPA out. Lagers, longer because they ferment cooler. And then we have a stout there that's just sitting in the 1 fermenter, and I'm just allowing everything to clear out of it. But we'll be getting ready to can and keg that in, I'm guessing, in another week or 2.
Oh, nice. Can you, well, I think by the time this episode actually comes out, that stout might be out. So can you tell us what it's about?
The stout has been, it's been a bane for me. Our first one, we ended up dumping. It was so bitter, I couldn't stand it. It turns out that it was a mistake on my part. I didn't realize why it was bitter. We were shooting for some more chocolate aroma. There's chocolate aroma for the stout we have now. But there was, I wanted just a hair more. So we dumped cacao extract in it, which it just smelled so awesome and everything, but I never did taste it. Apparently, it's super bitter. So what ended up happening is that it didn't really diffuse into the beer that well. It just kind of hunkered down and slid off to the bottom, and that's what I was tasting. So I dumped it. Then I brewed this one without the chalaka. Then I tried another chalaka again, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. Now, I didn't realize what I did the first time yet. We had people try it over Easter at my family here, and it just looked like somebody took chocolate milk from your refrigerator, shook it up. It looked cloudy. It tasted super bitter, and I'm like, this is terrible. So we were getting the canning line. I brought the canning line people in to run some test batches through it to get it running, and I figured I'll just use that beer since I knew I was tossing it. Our taproom attendant, Bree, goes, "Hey, did you try this?" I said, "Yeah, it tastes like hell. I'm not going to, it's horrible." She goes, "No, it ain't. It's really good." I go, "It can't be." So she pours a glass of it out, and I'm like, "What is that?" It doesn't look like the chocolate milkshake thing that it was the Chelaka. When I was drinking it, when I ate people, all that settled down to the bottom of the keg, left a layer about this much, so we were drying that junk right off the bottom. But when it went to the fermenter, because I transferred 8 halves into the fermenter to practice canning, it dropped off over the course of the few days that we were waiting for Alpha to show up. And when we were drawing beer off of that, we were drawing perfect beer, not the Chelaka.
Yeah.
So we fixed that with the new one. There's
Awesome.
no Chelaka in it, and it's good.
Nice.
And that should be out in a
I
couple
look
of weeks.
forward to that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you get some.
That one will be
I'll
canned.
see what I can do.
That will be canned.
So yeah,
Awesome.
you're just starting up your canning line here now.
Yeah, today
Yeah.
will be our first release. That's been another learning experience. Still working the bugs out on that. Wasted a lot of beer, but we are getting better at it. We do have, I think it's like 18 or 20 cases that we did get out for our release today.
Nice.
Out of an anticipated 25.
Hey.
So we came in short, but
It's better than none.
the beer is,
Right?
the beer, I think, and I've had people taste it over the weekend, and it's probably in my opinion, the best IPA that we've knocked out so far.
So wait, just to make sure I understand this correctly, the beer that's coming out in a can is not something that I would have been able to have already.
No, right now the tap wall is full. We have other beers going there next, but I wanted to get a release out because I've been telling people that we would have our first release at the beginning of May. We're already into mid-June, and I'm starting to get a little tight, so we have kegs of it coming up, but they'll be released later on the tap.
Oh well, I'm gonna
All
have to
right.
have it in a can then.
You're gonna
I
have
think,
to.
and I'm gonna finish this, and I think.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to talk to you about is how do you come up with the cool names for your beers? They all just seem really cool. So like, what do some of them mean?
There aren't many that really mean anything.
Okay.
A lot of it, some of it's plays on word, like the one, Heina or no, Heina Ono. It's because we say
That's
Heina no here all the
yes.
time. It actually does mean something in Hawaiian, and I didn't realize that until right before we opened. Ono in the Hawaiian language means wonderful, great. Like that meal was Ono.
Oh no.
Nice.
Henna actually means ass. So technically, it means nice ass. Didn't see that one coming, but I wasn't changing everything, so we just
I
let
think it
go.
fits. It fits.
so great.
That's great.
There's another one, Kamana Hava Pia. Pia is beer in Hawaiian. The rest of it, I don't know, maybe it means something. I don't think so, but it's just like, come on, have a beer.
Okay.
Yeah, so come on, have a beer.
Yeah.
Pia Samoa.
Yeah.
That's kind of like Pia Samoa.
Yeah.
But it's beer, it's technically means beer from Samoa, but it's just Pia Samoa.
Or have some more beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it though, because they're the kind of names for beers that make people think like, oh, this has to be super deep. This means something, and I
No,
love that it's just
we're-
silly.
We're
Yeah.
just silly.
I love that.
That's all. Except for Hoko'ole, that does mean, it means dark star. So that is our stouts, and all of them will be Hoko'ole, but the other ones will have, like the beer that we'll be releasing will be on island. It's a term that people, when they're local, when they go to the mainland or on vacation or off island, and then when they come back, they're on island. So that'll be that release of Hoko'ole Dark Star. And so that one kind of has a little bit of meaning to it.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I think we could put a pin in this.
I think so.
We finished our beers. This has been delightful. Thank
thank
you
you.
so much for having
Thank
us.
you for
Yes,
coming.
thank you.
Yeah, John, do you want to? Again, this was your thing. I'm gonna let you close this. You're gonna put the pin in it
Oh
this
my
time.
goodness. All right, yeah. So we'll put a pin in this one. For this episode, I'm still John,
I'm still Lauren.
and you are
George.
all right. Signing off. Thank you.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha. Well, wasn't that neat?
Heck yeah, that was neat. And you know, while we've been listening to that conversation that we've had these, again, brand new can releases from Lanahu Ales in Mountaintop, Pennsylvania, which is conveniently located at the top of a mountain.
As I said before, I have the Bretta Pia. It is a new mash composition and methodology for them. Kettle hopped exclusively with Galaxy hops.
Ooh.
DDH'd with Galaxy hops using a new and more efficient dry hopping method. Bursting with bright passion fruit aroma and flavor, good citrus lemon peel backbone, and a whisper of popping grape candy finish.
Ooh. You know I like my Galaxy hops.
Oh, yeah, and you also love the DDH.
I do, and I got put in my place a little bit about that.
A little bit, but you know what?
I still like it.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you don't like it.
Doesn't change me.
Yeah. But he did give a little bit of credence there that, double dry hop is better than single dry hop.
That's
So
true.
Yes.
Anything
So,
beyond double is just showboating.
yeah, showboating. It's for marketing,
Yeah.
as we're told. So, what do you have?
Oh, I have the Kapupia.
The Kapupia.
Brewed and canned with Aloha. So
Oh, yeah.
That's nice.
You can read your description
Oh,
there.
yes. This one that I have, the Kapupia, is kettle hopped with Mosaic and Simcoe hops. Oh, I like a Simcoe hop too, though. Finished off by DDHing, once again, with more Mosaic and Simcoe. Damn! That's what it says in the description. So that's not me.
Okay.
Super crushable notes of orange and peach iced tea on a hot day. Add to that some fresh berries. I did add the
Okay.
And yeah, you know what? That descriptor.
You get all of that.
I get all of that. Very well done. And as you heard in the episode, George is an IPA guy, and it is clear that he puts a lot of care and attention into the IPAs.
Yes, absolutely.
To make them, each one is unique and special.
Whether it's
Props.
using a different hop, a different yeast, or whatever. Yeah, he's doing great work down there.
Good time, good job. So if you ever find
Love
yourself,
to see more.
right, if you ever find yourself in Mountaintop, Pennsylvania, or anywhere near the I-80, 81 junction, you're just a short drive.
Yeah.
You're just a short drive. Get
In
yourself
the Wilkes-Barre Scranton area.
in the Wilkes-Barre Scranton area. Get yourself on 309?
Yep, we're on 309.
You're on Route 309 through Pennsylvania. It's right there. You will not be disappointed. And I'm saying this as somebody from Florida, living in a city where we have like 20 breweries, and I have been disappointed sometimes. I was
Yeah.
I was not disappointed by anything that I had at Lanahu. So, rock and roll. And aloha.
A quick note to your Aloha on the can.
Oh.
Remember when you lived on your own and I lived next door to our parents? On Saturdays after church, you would come over.
Yeah.
And the first thing that I would do is hand you a beer and say, Aloha.
Yeah.
Because the first beer I did that with was a Kona.
Yeah.
And on the Kona bottles, it was imprinted Aloha.
That's
so I'd be
right.
like, hello, aloha.
Aloha.
I'd say hello with the beer.
I think that's a really good way to say hello to people.
Yeah, it is.
So, and I like that these Lanahu beers are brewed and canned with Aloha. They are brewed and canned with hello.
With hello, love, and care.
Yeah. So, like, a beer is a greeting, and it's important.
Yes, it is.
So, I hope you learned something in this episode. I hope you enjoyed this episode because it was definitely different for us. We got to be on location.
Yeah, that's the first time that we've been on location.
That was pretty cool.
Either one of us has been on location.
Yeah, yeah. and we had a little bit of an audience. Shout out to my friends Megan and Callista for being very nice and very quiet in the background, but while also being supportive.
Yeah, hey. We're being true to ourselves because in the middle of the episode, I mentioned Dogfish Head.
You did.
And now you're mentioning Callista, and I don't recall her last name, so in my mind, she is Callista Flockhart.
She's not Callista Flockhart.
So,
she's Callista from
high school.
From high school.
Yeah. Don't dox her.
I'm not going to dox you, Callista. Oh my God, I just snorted. Okay,
yeah.
This is great. But no, it's true. So this was a different episode for us, but it was still...
We've got all of the major talking points.
We hit all the touch points. We talked about Weird Al. We talked about beer. We talked about Delaware. We talked about Dogfish Head. We talked about Callista Flockhart.
I do have a question for our loyal commenters, though.
Commenting in the comments?
Yeah. Do you want more of this kind of content where maybe we have an episode in here and there where we're only talking about beer?
Yeah, that's a good question. And we're not going to be together all the time, so it very well may mean that Lauren goes to a brewery by herself, talks to the brewer, or John goes to a brewery by himself, talks to the brewer because he can do that.
Absolutely can.
He's a grown man. He has a microphone.
And a computer.
He can do it. It's fine.
Yeah.
It can happen.
Yeah.
So if you like this, I'm having so much fun visiting my brother. And today was delightful. Lanahu was lovely. George was the best.
Yeah.
He was the best.
Yeah. What a chill guy.
Super chill. I mean, he's got the Aloha spirit.
Yeah, well, that's their whole thing there. They don't want to have any stress, so
exactly. Aloha. I think that's a good way to end it. Should we put a pin in it and say aloha? Aloha? I'm still Lauren.
And I am still John.
And aloha, aloha.
Aloha, 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 aloha. Gotta say it with that Nipa accent.
Aloha, aloha, aloha.